audience of the Season 2, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's Inspiration Thursday, and normally we would have books and blogs, and this is what that is, but we want to do it a bit differently today because it's the last Thursday of the year. You've been with us since September the 15th when this particular Inspiration Thursday launched, though the show launched on September the 9th, and your feedback has been incredible. We've read everything, we've seen that you love reading, we've seen that you appreciate Kenyan authors, and we are thankful that you keep watching day in, day out. So this is what I want us to do today. First, before I introduce the theme for the next 1 hour, I want us to take a walk back memory lane and look at some of the authors we've had, some of the people that we've celebrated for the last 3 months, 2 weeks, and, you know, for you to remind yourself some of the powerful things that they said.
Writers are such an important presence in any society. Society without writers would be a nightmare. As I said, I think that books and fiction is perhaps the best guide to any culture, any civilization.
I started reading when I was just finishing my primary school. So my mindset, you know, books, the knowledge is power. Yes. And I keep insisting that too much because this is what has transformed me to what I am today.
For God's sake, I tell parents, it is not difficult to give 20 minutes a day to your child to read with them. Read with them. It is not difficult if you're a teacher in a school. Appeal to the, to parents, everyone, just buy one book, a different book. And then you have a library in that school. And then make sure you allow that library period to be about reading.
Don't look at the money. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it because you can't get a publisher locally. Chase your dream. Somehow along the way, you'll get there.
When I was fighting with self-esteem, I always believed that if I can make the next person come lower,
put them down.
Yeah, then I look really good out there. But then I came to find out that when you are okay with yourself, your motivation when you're dealing with people is to lift them up. And anytime you lift somebody higher than yourself, actually you feel more successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and for our show today, we want to discuss what does 2017 look like for you? What are your plans? Most of us are in the habit of creating or making resolutions which we do not know whether you fulfill them or not for reasons that, you know, you best know. Others, resolutions is a foreign word. You don't imagine that you need to create them because, hey, maybe they don't work. What I've decided for me is 2017, I have said, my case will be different. And to help me navigate through that really powerful statement and decision making, we've decided to bring back on our show some of our most inspiring guests we've had since September, and to introduce you to Mr. Francis Werisho. He of the Almond Skill Foundation. You remember him? That very famous phrase you all resonated with where he said, wannabes don't create no honey. So very welcome, Francis.
Thank you so much.
And James Karundu. He of passionbees.com, that's the business he runs. He's also a life coach, motivational speaker. Both of them are authors, and thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And you realize we aired both of your shows in December.
Wow.
Yeah. Yours the first, yours 2 weeks ago.
Wow, I remember watching his show.
Okay, before you came on.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then you know each other.
Yeah, we've met before.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You can't remember that, but he does.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this tells you this was meant to happen.
Absolutely.
Meant to happen, yeah.
Yeah, so I think let's dig into it. And I want to find out first from you, Francis, is there any value in making resolutions?
Thank you, Catherine, for having us on the show today. We really appreciate the fact that you could call us back and in this particular show. And is there any value in making resolutions? I would say yes and no.
Oh.
Yes being the fact that it's important for you to make a decision to change some things that you think are not moving well in your life, or maybe things that you need to improve. But no, because a resolution is something that you resolve to do. It may not be a goal. It may not be a dream. It's something that you've just decided that I need to stop this. And you realize that most resolutions are connected to some things that people do not want to do. Like, for example, somebody says, I have made this resolution, I want to hit the gym every day.
Everyone says that actually in January. Everybody wants to hit the gym.
It's probably because a pot belly has appeared and they want to cut it down. So what happened before the pot belly appeared? Maybe they didn't check how they were eating.
Okay.
Maybe they did not exercise. And so some of these resolutions are connected to things that we should not have done. But when you look at a goal is different. It looks at what you want to become.
So before you said yes and no, the value of making resolutions. So the yes, I hear you, but why is it not valuable?
The reason it's not, the reason I say no is because more than 80% of these resolutions do not go beyond 3 months.
Yes, and I'm glad you've said that, because James, I need you to let us know why by March people forget what they decided they want their year to look like.
Well, part of it is because these resolutions are not made from the right way of thinking about what you want. Well, the new year has come, so it's time to set new resolutions. And people make a number of mistakes, and that's part of it. And I'd like to share some of the mistakes.
Absolutely.
And mistake number one is whenever you're thinking about what you want, and then you're basing it on last year's results, then there's already a major error there. Because a lot of people, what they do is the same way companies do. This year we've reached here, so next year we want to grow by 10%. And so you're saying this year I've got it here, so next year I want to raise this. So whenever you base where you want to be on what you've done, last year's results, a major error. Because where you can be has nothing to do with what you've achieved last year.
Is that so?
Absolutely.
But shouldn't it be, when I look at what I've achieved this year, then I should be able, first of all, to pat myself in the back and say, well, kudos, Catherine, you did that, but now you didn't do this. So now we need to do this plus 2 things. I need to look back to be able to...
Well, of course, you've got to reflect without a doubt and appreciate where you've reached. But let not that be what is going to guide what you can achieve tomorrow. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So don't look and say, fine, I've achieved here, so I can only achieve 10% more. What I'm saying here is open your imagination and really, really let yourself tune into what is calling you and what is really, really possible for you. So what you've achieved then is only this much, yet this much is possible.
Okay. So this much that is possible, Francis, when I listen to the both of you, it's sounding as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, as though there must be qualities that govern resolution making or the type or a goal. First of all, is a resolution a goal? Is it the same thing?
It may not be the same thing.
Oh.
They're 2 different things, because a goal is a dream with a deadline. Most resolutions do not have deadlines.
Is that a mistake we make, maybe?
It's one big mistake, because the human mind is very interesting. Because when you tell the human mind that next year I'm going to do this, the human mind understands subconsciously that the year runs until December. And so the human mind might wait until December for it to wake up again and start acting on what you told it last year. So that is where some of these resolutions fail, because the same person goes back in the month of December to make the same resolutions that they failed to achieve last year.
Because they didn't give their resolutions a deadline.
It doesn't have a deadline.
So are you saying if we give them a deadline, then that transforms them into a goal?
It becomes a goal. Yeah, because this is something that has a timeline. When are you going to achieve this? Because many times when you say, I want to do this. Now, the mind will wait until that particular time. But if you told yourself that I am a business person by June 2017.
Right.
I am. It's different from I want to be. Totally different. So when the mind captures the I am, by 2017 June, you will have acted towards that goal. And that is something that has worked for me. I did a 5-year, I'm yet to start my 5-year strategic plan from 2016. I made one in 2011, my 5-year strategic plan from 2011 to 2016.
Okay.
And there were about 8 items in that particular strategic plan. Now, in that strategic plan, I have achieved 6 out of 8, including the book.
Wow.
It was part of it.
Did you give each a deadline?
They had different deadlines.
Okay.
Like one, I said, my children have joined a more prestigious school by 2012. That happened. I am beginning as a motivational speaker, and by 2015, it did. So it has been happening for me. Why? Because the mind reminds me that there's something that needs to happen by that particular time.
Yeah.
And so I look at a resolution like an uncle that visits your home every December. And this is a funny type of uncle who is always drunk. And you have to keep up with him. That particular time he's there. And you have to laugh at what he does and some of the funny things that happen. But after that, he leaves until next year in December when he appears again.
Right. So when I listen to that then, James, are we saying forget resolutions, let's make goals instead?
Well, allow me to explain it this way.
Absolutely.
That this time of the year is a perfect time to review and reflect. And yes, indeed, pat yourself on the back for what you achieved and forgive yourself for what you did not achieve. And then one needs to take quiet time to sit and take a bit of time. And this is the perfect time to do it. And we have a weekend coming up, so it's just a perfect time for one to slow down and forget about the end year parties. Take time to just reflect and reflect on a number of things. What are the areas of growth that you can focus on? Because at the end of the day, the breakthroughs that one is looking for in the coming year, it's all dependent on what areas are you going to focus on. And focus means narrowing it down. So one needs to narrow it down and get their vital few. So I have some guidelines for this.
Okay.
So one of them is growth. Where are you looking for growth? Where is there growth required? And one of the areas of growth for me, I would recommend is growing your income. That one, without a substantial amount of income coming, your life cannot flow. So how can you grow your income? Then the other area that one needs to look at is something I call aliveness. Things that you do that make you alive. And I'm talking about passion. So what area of passion can you pursue? Because the aliveness factor is related to how passionate you are about what you're doing. And also, the other thing that one needs to look at is the area of impact and contribution. That where can I have a bigger impact? Where can I contribute more? So when you start looking at all that, then you're getting some of the elements that needs to be in your plan for next year. Yes.
I think James has said something very interesting.
Okay.
Because if you're taking a journey and you do not know your destination,
How will you know when you get
any
there?
road will take you there.
Oh, any road.
And besides that, you can never be lost because you've not even started.
Okay.
You don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So where are you lost? You're not. Because you have not even started.
Right.
But when you start the journey and you do not know where you're going to miss out on so many things if you do not know specifically where you're going.
Let's put it this way. Because part of the issue here with the resolutions is people are seeing a short term. But the better thing is this. It's like putting in coordinates in a GPS, Google Maps. So the first thing you need to do is set the destination. Where is it that you want to go?
Right.
Think about the various elements that I've mentioned,
Yes.
areas of growth, passion, contribution,
Impact.
And really, really put in those coordinates. When you put in those coordinates, then you have a destination. And what I recommend is write down your vital few, the things that you're saying, this is the year for me to achieve this. Write them on a card. Put that card.
Right.
You've put the Google Maps. You've put in the destination in the Google Maps.
Yeah.
So from there then, and this is part of the reason why the resolutions don't generally work and why by March they are gone.
Okay.
You've got to get support. I mean, you've got to start seeing who do I want to be with. You've got to start trusting yourself, because some of those coordinates that you put in there for the destination may look like it's too far away. But you see, the way is found within. You know, just like what Francis teaches here.
Right.
So there's an element of looking within and trusting yourself and really, really pursuing what's coming up for you. And the amazing thing is this. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So start being on the lookout for where you can get support. Which communities can you be part of? Because for you to succeed, you will not succeed without being in a supportive environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, writing it down. Very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's no company, no organization that has ever succeeded without a written document. And this written document is your own personal strategic plan, the Google map that he's talking
Yes.
about.
Putting
The
in those
support-
coordinates.
Yes, because they
About where
tell
you
you,
want to be.
where you want to go.
Yes.
Number two, the support. There's another kind of support that you need. Accountability partners. Tell people, trusted people,
Yeah.
where you're going.
But what if you don't have trusted people in your life then?
Well, let's put it this way. Yeah, okay, it's true that a lot of people, and whether it's a valid point,
Yeah.
and it's not exactly that they're not trusted as such, it's just that they're not the right ones
Yeah.
to have those conversations. I mean, if you go start blabbering your big plans to all and sundry,
Yeah.
99% of them, they'll be on your case.
True.
Remember last year what you did not achieve. So, and so on and so on. And so you need to start, well, of course, one can buy a book, one can get online. I mean, Francis and myself, I mean...
You're available and you know, you can give
Yes, I
access.
mean, we have the people. There's a lot of access to information.
Yes.
And even people watching us, they just need to go to our social media
Yes.
pages. I mean, there is a lot of motivational information and so on. But in terms of accountability, there are two things that one can do. And as I said, getting those trusted partners. Part of it is to find people with whom you commit yourself and you say, keep me accountable. Look for people with whom you can say, keep me accountable.
Yeah.
And if those people are not there, create your own accountability circle. All I'm trying to say here is that just because you don't have access to a mentor,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you cannot have access to accountability. Create your own accountability circle.
Right.
Bring people together. And all there is in terms of an accountability circle, it could be a WhatsApp group where at the beginning of the month you share your goals and your plans for the month. And then at the end of the month, you share a scorecard. Where have you reached? So it's as simple as that. All I'm trying to say is this, that no one watching this needs to feel like they're not alone. There's help. Absolutely.
Okay. Before we go to break, I need you to help us determine how can people self-motivate. Because right now, yes, they steam, we hear you, we do all the coordinates, you know, very well-structured goals for 2017. Then January comes, January goes, and you feel, wow, I haven't done anything, haven't even done anything to do the first thing. Then people start losing that steam. And then you find you need to be, I was going to use another word, then I was thinking, is that a good word to use? But how do you self-motivate, Francis? How do you kujichangamsha? How do you, can anyone do that for you? Because yes, I could call you, I could say I have, both of you are my accountability partners, and then when you call me, I ignore you. You know, it gets there. It gets there. But then what is that thing that you can tell us that will get someone saying, wow, yeah, if that happens, then I know, because I heard both of you say this.
Okay. Now, look at these resolutions that we make. I'm putting myself there. We make these resolutions. For example, somebody wants to quit smoking. For example, that's a habit that they have developed over time. It's not an easy thing to quit smoking. So it's not something that you will do casually. You will not just decide that I'm deciding that I want to quit. Now, the Bible says in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision down, that anybody that sees it runs. So whatever you've written down puts you to action. You don't just write it down. It pushes you, it motivates you, it gives you the oomph to continue moving on. So it's not something that is cheap. It's about life. It's about your personal growth. It's about your personal development. It's about changing you from where you are to where you want to be. So this is not something that can just be tied to a small resolution. It needs a lot of energy. It needs a lot of discipline. You make discipline part of your life. Because are you ready to pay the cost? In terms of, if you want to build a house, you need to sit down and count the cost before you start building. You need to know how much it's going to cost you in labor. So when I decide that I want to I want to quit smoking, for example. Now, do I still walk with the friends that I used to smoke with? Do I still visit the places that I used to get my packet from? Some things need to change.
Right.
And those are the things that need to be written down in this vision that you're talking about.
Right.
What are these things that you need to change? And so you need to really work on you. Because many times it's you. You have the key more than anybody else. Because it's your life and you know where you are going.
Okay.
Yes.
James, your perspective?
Yeah, well, I want to recommend a number of things.
Okay.
And the whole thing of self-motivation is key. And the way to make it part of your life and the way to almost guarantee that there's always some element of self-motivation is in what I call rituals and practices.
Okay.
So one needs to have rituals and practices and that one institutes. And among them includes, I always recommend wake up early. You know, if there's one discipline that is going to change your life, is wake up early. Because when you wake up early, you have access to that miracle morning hour.
What time do you wake up?
4:30.
Okay.
Yes. Come rain, come shine. It is a discipline that has worked for me. Because that's a time when everything is unplugged. I'm able to read something motivational. I'm able to do a devotion. I'm able to write on my journal. And those are things that I recommend. Write on a journal. And one of the things that I recommend, even it's in my book, it's called writing a gratitude journal. Because you've got to start tapping into what is already working. Because you're talking about self-motivation. No one can do that for you. So you've got to read and plug in and also let it come out of you, a gratitude journal. And then from there, start planning your day. And as you plan your day, as you think about your day, one of the rituals that is key is called self-care. You've got to have a dose of self-care. Okay. Because what happens, and part of how we get demotivated, is we get busy. Yeah, I mean, by the time you're meandering through traffic, you've forgotten about your goals and everything. So what I suggest is even put a reminder on your phone that you have self-care. Take a walk, get unplugged. That is how, because the motivation is there, but there's no space for it.
Right.
I mean, all the inspiration and the ideas cannot come when you're having what I call a bandwidth. Your bandwidth is full. It's like traffic jam on Mombasa Road. That the ideas can come through. You know, so rituals and practices.
Yes.
That is how you do it. And you institute them.
Yeah.
And they become a discipline. And as I said, it always starts with one that I recommend that works. Wake up early.
Wake up early. I love that.
I'd also like to throw in something.
As you throw it in, let's first take a break. Just put that thought exactly where it is. Don't forget it. We will come to you when we come right back after this commercial break.